Hey YouTube, Devin here with another episode of Comics and Stuff. Thanks for tuning in again. This week we are joined by my 4-year-old son EJ. Say hello.
Hi.
So last week I threw you guys a curveball and talked a little bit about third-party grading companies based outside of the U.S. market. I'm sure it was cool for some of you to find out that comic book collecting is more than just an American/Canadian thing. Some of you might have known this, but a lot of you may have not. So the more you know. Anyhow, I mentioned at the end of the last video that for this session I'd be covering undesirable third-party comic book grading companies. So let's talk a little bit about what we have. So, this one here is RGA, or the Retro Grading Authentication. You might already notice why I don't like it. And right here we have MCG, or Midwest Comic Grading. So let's talk a little bit about RGA. Let's just talk about the slab. This is a cheap picture frame, glass front, cardboard back that you can purchase at any frame shop for like $4. This bag on the inside is a simple plastic sleeve. It has no protective qualities. And then a very cheaply made, poorly graphic sticker. Is graphic a word? I don't know. But a bad sticker. It doesn't look attractive. This is not something that I would want to see an Action Comics #1 in. This is very poorly done. I don't appreciate it. I don't like this. This is just me. If you were to look at their website, I mean, it's typographical and grammatical errors nonstop, constantly. They switch back and forth between all caps and lower cases. It's just not cool. One thing that distinguishes these guys is on their website, on their banner, it says, and I quote, "We are the Gucci of grading services," and any company that says that they are the Gucci of grading services is not a company that I would trust with my rare collectibles. So that is the RGA, the Retro Grading Authentication. What do you think, EJ?
No.
Yeah, no. Not very cool. Now, talk about MCG a little bit. Now, this in itself, this is by no means a comic book slab. This is a comic book in a bag and board and then sealed in another bag. This provides no protection for your comic book. As you can see, the comic book can get bent and screwed up all on its own. You could have it sitting upright and somebody could fall on it and bend it straight in half. This provides no protection except for against liquid. The back of the comic book you can't even see because it's covered by a bag and, its label. Labels are weird. We'll get to their label and grading system in just a moment. But, yeah, this is MCG. So they have 4 different types of grading and 4 different prices for different eras of comic books, effectively creating 16 prices for books. Their website is written as if it was all in one shot by a 6th grade kid. There was no editing. It's very, very poorly written. Constantly switches back and forth between referring to themselves as they, us, and I. So I'm not sure what is up with that. But so that's MCG. So let's take a closer look at these like we normally do. Now, RGA, you can generally find these guys at Goodwill of America. That is their largest seller. I picked this up at my local Goodwill in Ballard, which is in Seattle. It's a neighborhood in Seattle, Washington. I got it for, like $2 or $3. This from MCG, they actually have their own eBay store because nobody else gets their stuff graded. Apparently, they're the only sellers of it on eBay. I can't find it being sold by anybody else, but I picked this up for $6 on eBay, just as an example for this video. So that is MCG. Now, MCG also, weirdly enough, they implore the use of weird grades like 7.75 or 5.75 or 8.25 or 9 or like 3.4. I'm not sure why that is not standard Fischler scale. I think they just want it to be cool and unique. I don't conform to that style of scoring. It's 0.5, 1, 1.8, 2, XYZ. So anyways, the Fischler scale is what I go by. These are both very cheap companies. They provide no protection for your comic books. Again, glorified bag and board, literally no protection except for against liquid, and then just a cheap picture frame, which is, you might as well just go do it yourself. But if you're going to try to get your comic book protected, you might as well go through a third-party grading company. But that's it for this episode of Comics and Stuff. You got MCG, Midwest Comic Grading, and retrograding authentication. Not third-party grading companies I would recommend, folks. Please like and share. Follow, subscribe, tell your friends about this. Leave comments below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, or if I have committed any sort of YouTube cardinal sin, please let me know. But until next time, that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week. By the way, we are going to be talking about our wild card third-party grading company. That will be the last in this 6-part YouTube video series. By the way, this is part 5. I don't know if I mentioned that. So one more video and then we'll be done and we'll move on to a new topic. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next time.